Boomerang.
Hello.
So we are camping, and I'll show you camp in a bit. But we're looking for something to do, and who knows, whatever we find to do, we'll bring you along. We're at Villagers Restaurant in Holly. Just had breakfast, and today is my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. All right, so let's see what we can find to do. We'll bring you along. Well, we ended up at the Michigan Environmental Center. It's supposed to have some pretty cool displays, so let's go take a look. So we're in, and as soon as you come in, look at these cattails. You can see the frog right there. I think it's a dragonfly right there.
There's a dragonfly.
Oh, there's a dragonfly right there. Give me an idea of the size. Sweetheart, stand right here next to the rail. Look how...
Our best man away.
Look at that. And then I'm going to swing over here. Look at this. Gray wolf. I'm sorry for the reflection, but this thing is big. Sweetheart, you want to do your Vanna White again? Show how big this thing is? Look at the size of that wolf. All right. And they got up here, they got... All right, let's go downstairs and see what they have. So we're going to go take a walk to the underwater pond dome, which is what I saw on their website. I thought that looked really interesting. Unfortunately, she said there was a lot of algae covering it, but she did say we could look through the windows and still get a pretty good view. So let's go take a look. So we're looking through one of the windows. Let me back up. You can see there are several windows here. Here they're asking how far can you see underwater. Apparently not very far.
Not today.
This is a pond, so I'll get a photo of the pond and post that. But again, just looking through one of the windows, and then as we come down the hallway...
Oh, we have fish.
Oh, we got fish.
We got fish.
Yep.
Oops, sorry.
Yep, there is a fishy. Looking for food. All right, and we come down, and I would love to see this when it's clear. This is walking under the pond, and you can see the algae.
Very bad.
So unfortunately, what's that?
See stuff flying by though, moving.
Yeah, that's the pond that is above us. And here's the dome. Now, I can see, I hope you can, there's a fish right there. Actually, there you can see the shadow of another one right there.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. Here's another one.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. You
It's
can
awesome.
see what you can see. But this is still fascinating, and I think that we may come back
Definitely.
when it's not so bad. The algae, hi Princess.
Hi.
Yep. Probably in the fall, the algae will have died off. But yeah, this is the under pond dome, and so anyway, we'll show you what we can. This is the pond that we were under. And of course, here's the building. So the dome is somewhere. Well, in fact, if you, I don't know if you can see it or not, probably not, but you can see the tunnel that we went through right there, and the dome is right there. You can see the outline of it under the water. So I'm going to say it's probably 2 or 3 feet above the dome to the surface of the water. Don't know for sure, but look at all the fishies. They're like, feed me, feed me. Very fun. So yesterday, Princess and I were at the Environmental Museum. Today, we're here at the Sloan Museum. I just got to show you some of these cars. Hang on, look at this. A Buick Centurion. That is phenomenal. Can you imagine just tooling around in that thing? Look at that. I'm going to try and get in there best I can and show you. Man, they don't make anything like this anymore. That is incredible. It's a 1956 Buick Centurion. Would you drive this? I would. Let's look at a few more. Now I point this one out not because it was anything great. This is a 1976 Chevy Chevette. My wife had a 1983 Chevy Chevette scooter. I hope it's not too bright. Now this is cool, a Buick Riata. Now I would certainly like to tool around in one of those. Just a fun little car, 2-seater. That is a 1991 Buick Riata. And of course next to it, Corvette. That is a 1963. It's a Stingray. Then we come over this way. There you go. Just so cool. They got some really neat cars here. This one here is a 1953 Corvette. And coming over this way, look at that. That is awesome. Again, a 2-seater, but this is just a fun car. Look at that. This is a 1954 Buick Wildcat. You really can't see, but on the badge there it says Wildcat. And I knew it was a Buick because of those little vents right there, whatever they're for. All Buicks seem to have those. And how'd you like to tool around town on this thing? Man, that is a 1936 Buick Limited. Al Capone used to ride one of these. Or maybe one of these, I don't know. Dort. We just came up Dort Highway. This is a 1922. It's a model 19T. Check this one out. This one is a 1913 Chevy Series C Classic 6. Look at that. Why don't they make cars like this anymore? Of course, in some ways, I guess it's good that they don't. Here we go. (1907). Moving over here, it's a 1950 Buick. I wish I could get in closer and show you inside. Amazing. That is so pretty. Alright, I'm going to pause and swing around. Look at that. A Phantom. Could you see yourself tooling around town in that thing?
That'd be cool.
I'll let you know what year in a second. Look at the louvers. They just don't do that anymore, do they? Interesting. Wheels. All right, let's see. This is a 1977. Relatively new. It says Phantom Experimental. Then we get this one here. What do we have here? A 1910 Buick 60 Special, also known as the Bug. Hi, Princess. I bet you that would be so much fun to ride. All right, I'm gonna put you on pause again. 1969 Corvair. Do you know how many Corvair clubs there are? How many people collect these things? And there's one more in this room I'll show you. Hang on. And here we go. A 2011 Mirai or Mirai Roadster. I don't recall ever seeing anything like this out on the road. Try and get GM concept car. All right. I hope you enjoyed the cars in this room. Let me get a big overview. There's Princess again. All right, moving on. Here's a 1968 Buick LeSabre. I think it belongs in a boat show. That thing is a boat. Looks like it's driven in as is condition. They certainly didn't do any restoration work on it. My parents used to have a LeSabre. And I know my mom had a Pontiac Executive. Yeah, I'm seeing a repair. That screw right there. That's certainly not factory. But still.
It says here the children learn to drive with the car, which may explain some of the dents and scratches.
Okay, there you go. Yep, the children learn to drive with this car. Yep, certainly dents and scratches. All right, let's move on. There's some more cars here.
In a word, efficiency. But back up a minute there. We still made transmissions and engines in Flint, but transporting those foundation of parts from Flint to a out-of-town factory was inefficient and inexpensive. And all that time wasted between cities, no time to prove we got it.
You one of these things?
Now, as I read, this was made by Patterson that made carriages, and this was their first attempt to make an automobile as they switched over from carriages to automobiles. This is a 1909 motor buggy. All right, let's see some more. This is a 1931 Chevrolet Independence. See the USA in your Chevrolet. Americans value our independence, and an automobile was a very large part of that. And just look at how much room is in that back seat. If you can see, look at the leg room. Again, they just don't make them like this anymore. I would love to tool around town in one of these. Let me show you another newer vehicle, but one that was built to last. Hang on. Okay, got another LeSabre. And this apparently was the last one that rolled off of the assembly line before it closed, and all the workers signed right here under the hood. And I know that that 3800 would go forever if you maintained it. Beautiful car. It's a good bit bigger than that first LeSabre we looked at that I said belonged in a boat show. As I recall, I had a 1987 Chevy Beretta, which was the first or second year they came out, that also had the 3.8 or 3800. I also had a 1990 something Lumina minivan APV that also had the 3800 indestructible engine, much like the 225 slant 6 with Chrysler. Indestructible, as long as you maintain it. Wouldn't it be nice to know what kind of an engine they're making now that we would look back on and call it indestructible? Alright, hope you enjoyed. And also at the Sloan Museum is the Hall of Heroes. Now if you remember, was it a year or two ago, we went to the one down in Indiana, that's the main museum. Well, they're up here in Flint right now, so they have some displays set up. Let's take a look. I don't know if y'all recognize this guy or not. I guess he's a hero. Of course, there's Iron Man right there. That's pretty neat looking.
Okay.
Now, just so you know, there are a ton of kids in here. So in order to not have the children on the video, I'll be cutting in and out probably. Princess is having fun with gears. Can you get them all going at the same time?
Nope.
No? Nice try, Princess. Just kind of give you the panoramic view here. That's where we came in. And there are all kind of displays set up. I guess it's geared towards kids, and the theme is Discover Your Superpower. And I'm sure everyone recognizes this fella here. He's probably 10 feet tall, sitting way up off the ground. But if I stand next to him, I would say he's probably 10 to 12 feet tall. Here's a Batmobile display, and I noticed it's only half of the Batmobile. But it's an interesting display. Looks like they have the Bat Cave, or a replica of the Bat Cave down here. I don't know why they have a gargoyle here. It reminds me of a movie that I watched years ago called Night of the Gargoyles. Kind of a horror flick. Pretty interesting. I'd recommend watching it if you want a decent horror flick. Not full of blood and gore like modern horror flicks are. Night of the Gargoyles. Starring, I think it was Cornell Wilde. So I'm guessing it has something to do with Batman, Princess said, because you got the bat phone, but I'm looking up here, if you can see it, barracuda repellent, manta ray repellent, whale repellent, shark repellent. And I guess maybe they have a gargoyle repellent too. Just another view of the left half of the Batmobile. Princess was able to fire up the turbine. You could hear the thing whining when she hit the buttons in the right sequence. All right, Princess is going to fire up the turbine again. There it goes. you can hear it.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what Princess can do here. Oh, you got to be quicker than that. All right, she got 350. Let me see. I'm going to do the grip strength thing. You got to watch this and see how high it goes. Where did it go?
I didn't see it. There it goes. Superhero.
So, let me squeeze it not so hard and see where it goes. Oh, there it is. Okay. So let me squeeze and see how high it goes. Ready? Oh, I guess I'm gonna wait for it to stop. Bonus points if anybody knows what building you can find this sculpture atop. And if you said the Daily Planet, you would be correct. So we are on our way to take a riverboat cruise on the Bavarian Belle.
Yay.
I just beat Princess at putt-putt.
Yep.
Yep, sorry we didn't get you any video of that. Let's go take a boat ride.
Come along.
We are here and there is the Bavarian Belle right down there. So we're going to board in just a few minutes. Here's a close-up. We're about ready to board. We're on board, top deck, and we're right at the back. We'll get to see the paddle wheel in action. There's the covered bridge up here, Frankenmuth.
Quite often on a packet boat on the lower level, they'd build a deck that extended about 9 feet on either side of the hull. Usually they'd stack cotton bales on those. Sometimes they'd stack them so high the captain could hardly see where he was going. It made them a lot of extra money, but it also caused a problem because sparks came out of the smokestacks and set fire to the cotton bales. Riverboats evolved very quickly with tall stacks, sometimes 60 to 70 feet high. In fact, every 4 years in Cincinnati, there has been a festival called Tall Stacks, where riverboats from all over the country come up the Mississippi and up the Ohio to Cincinnati, where you can ride on all different sizes of each vessel. The tall stacks solved the problem of setting fire to the cotton bales, but it caused another problem. As years went on, more and more roads were built. Therefore, bridges were built, but they couldn't get under. So riverboats are one of the few vessels that have smokestacks that retract. The original design was to put a hinge at the bottom. We'll post a lot of those on our website, bavarianbelle.com. Do you ever see a bald eagle flying, or a bald eagle up in a nest? 2 of them, 2 adults. The larger one is the female. The smaller one is the male. And the male has a very important job. Well, the male will go out and find a stick, and then he'll bring it back to the nest, and he'll put it in the nest. And then the next day, 2 days later, he'll take that stick and he'll move it somewhere else. And then a few days later, he might find another stick, he might go back to that one, move it somewhere else. He's very busy. Just watch bald eagles for a while. See how many times the male moves a stick around in a nest. But they do go find food, so they do really have a good value. But they are the small of the 2. The female's the larger. Male's the small. This bridge weighs well over 230 tons. The 2 oxen were able to pull the bridge because the block and tackle and the cable amplified the pulling power of each of the oxen from 1 to 180. So even though there were only 2 oxen walking around the capstan, Theoretically, there were 360 pulling the bridge out across the bridge piers. One of the major structural components of the bridge is the lattice truss. You can see that from either side. The lattice truss weighs over 20 tons and is made of Douglas fir. When you go under the bridge, you can see the tails.
No, it's like. What? Can I see? Oh. Yeah, it's just like that.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for riding on the Bavarian Belle. We hope that you enjoyed the trip, and we hope you enjoyed the rest of your day in River Plate and in Franklin. Once the boat is secure on the upper deck, please exit the staircase on the right side of the boat.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed the video. We're on vacation this week, both of us. What do you think of our matching shirts? Officially old, right? Isn't that what old people do? Matching shirts. We're in the cage now. We'll be on the bike tomorrow morning. But we had a really good week this week. We did several days of camping. Went to the Michigan Environmental Museum. I think that's what it was. The Ecological Museum. I'm not sure which it was. Something like that. Went up to play putt-putt again. Sorry I got no video of that. Take my word for it. I whooped her.
Oh yeah.
And then we went on the Riverboat ride. That was really nice. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. We got a few more motorcycle things coming up. Some bike shows and things like that that we normally go to. I don't know why this year it seems like there haven't been as many bike shows as there have been in years past. I don't know why. But at any rate, we're going to close out this video now, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming along.
Bye for now.